I got some breaking news now. This is Danvers, Massachusetts, north of Boston. This is a press conference now.
The memory of Colleen Ritzer. She is the young math teacher who was murdered at Danvers High School last week.
Now let's go to a developing story out of Danvers, Massachusetts. That's where a 24-year-old teacher was killed, allegedly at the hands of a 14-year-old student.
Do you know that a 14-year-old is facing charges? We've seen a number of other students coming to Danvers High School this morning. They tell
A 14-year-old boy is ordered held without bail in the slaying of a 24-year-old math teacher at Danvers High School.
When tragedy struck neighboring school Danvers High, Massanoma took their community outreach to the next level. Masco was among the many surrounding districts who showed their support for Danvers. During this time, everything from banners to video montages were made to demonstrate how students from all over came together to help one another. On October 22, 2013, Colleen Ritzer was allegedly raped and murdered by 14-year-old Philip Chisholm of Danvers. The body of the young math teacher was discovered by police the next morning behind the Danvers High School. Both students and teachers at Masco were greatly impacted by the death of the 24-year-old Colleen Ritzer. Masconomet English teacher Maureen Backus was significantly intertwined with the situation, considering both her two daughters attend Danvers High School. Not only was Maureen Backus personally affected by the incident, but her entire family was as well.
I was upset and worried about my daughter, Riley, who had Miss Ritzer as her math teacher. So I was in Mr. Quinn's room watching on TV, the news, and when I found out the name of the teacher, I knew Riley had her, so I was immediately concerned about my daughter, and both my daughters. Reagan's a senior too. And I was horrified. You know, I was thinking of obviously the teacher and how traumatic that was and how awful the whole event was, but also just concerned about how the school, how Danvers High was going to react to it, and, you know, the safety and well-being of my own children. So I left school immediately to go be with them.
Senior Ashley Arnoldy, a Danvers High student, describes the challenges and obstacles that corresponds with the recovering from this tragedy.
Well, I don't really think it was real, because living in a small town like Danvers, you would never expect it to happen, something that's happened, you see it on the news, all the things, all things like that, and I just didn't think that it would ever happen in Danvers, just because it's a horrible thing. Yeah.
The year of 2013 was a frightening year for all of Massachusetts. Preceding the Danvers tragedy was the Boston Marathon bombings in April. The Danvers community adopted the term Boston Strong by adding a swing to it, thus creating Danvers Strong.
For the basketball team, I had a jamboree at the beginning of the year. Lynn English gave us a banner that said Danvers Strong, and everyone competing in that jamboree, everyone signed it. Other schools gave a donation, Peabody, I'm friends with a bunch of girls on that team. They made ribbons for us that said Be Kind, which was the big thing about Miss Ritzer, how she said being kind to someone is a wonderful legacy to leave behind. They sold ribbons, and they gave us ribbons as well, and they made a donation to the scholarship. And Salem basketball team, when they came out and warmed up, they even surprised their coaching staff, and they bought Danvers Strong t-shirts, and they wore up in pink t-shirts, and they wore blue socks for us as well, and they gave a donation.
Marissa Rosenthal and Becky Stone are the two Masconomet organizers of the banner that was given to Danvers High School as a physical reminder of how Masco will endlessly support the school and community members.
Well, I think once I heard about it, since I used to work with a bunch of kids from Danvers, and hearing how impacted they were and how their tweets and everything was so supportive for the teacher and for the school, I felt it would be great for us to just give back to them.
Yeah, when I first heard it, it was really surreal, because it's terrible to hear about a lot of tragic things all over the world, but this was something happening right next door. people we knew personally were getting affected by this, and it was someone that
It just like touched so close to home, I think.
The fact that the tragedy took place at a neighboring district made the impact on the girls much greater than if this had just been another tragic event that they saw on the news.
Knowing that it was so close made it much more real. For example, when you heard about the Sandy Hook incident, it was at the same level of sadness, but like I couldn't connect with it because it was so far away. I felt sad for those people, but it wasn't the same as all of the kids and teachers that were affected that I knew.
Similar to Stone and Rosenthal, seniors Samantha Young and Emily Fontaine reached out to fellow classmates and decided to create a video on their own. This video revolved around students and teachers sending their thoughts and prayers to the wounded Falcons.
For me, I know a lot of people who go to Danvers, and I worked with a lot of them, so just knowing that like those people who I was close with had something so tragic happen to their community, like really upset me, and so I really wanted to do something to help them out.
The Masco community experienced the aftermath when the football team was scheduled to play the Danvers Falcons in a first-round playoff game. This was the first game since the incident, which left a lasting effect on both teams.
It was pretty sketchy. It was a shocker. Yeah, because it's really close to Masco, and it's kind of, I don't know, sketchy. That's something would happen so close to us. It's scary. Yeah.
Did you think about, did it even come across your mind that, like, you guys were the first team to play them after what happened?
On Wednesday, I think, it hit us, and we were like, well, we're gonna be playing them, and then our coach talked to us, and he was like, hey guys, obviously, like, what happened with Danvers is a big deal, and we're the first team to play them, and it's a playoff game, stuff like that, and the boosters got us stickers, and that's kind of when coach addressed it to us, when we got the stickers for the back of our helmets, like blue ribbons, to kind of just show our support. And then players took initiative and wore blue armbands and sleeves and stuff like that, just to kind of even show some more support.
Masconomet principal Lori Hodgins immediately took initiative when being faced early on in her new position with this incident. She was aware of the Masconomet students' and parents' concerns with this issue, considering that the Danvers tragedy was so close to home.
So more information was coming, and I was completely into problem-solving mode. What are we going to do? How are we going to make people feel safe? I think the immediate reaction was I wanted students to feel safe. I wanted teachers to feel safe, especially because what was interesting was it wasn't a student coming in and hurting a bunch of people. It was a student coming in and hurting one teacher. And I particularly thought that teachers would feel very vulnerable, so I wanted to assure them that they would feel safe. What I found out was that students immediately went into problem-solving mode around how can I support my fellow Danvers students and their school community, and I thought that was amazing.
After receiving the banner, students from Danvers gave great appreciation to the organizers of the banner and the students of Masconomet who signed. The banner was hung in the school along with many other schools who also expressed their gratitude to Danvers.
Well, again, I think it's something they could always look at. And I have a close friend from Danvers, and when she saw that, she texted me, and she was really appreciative of it. So I think she spoke as the whole body.
Yeah. Knowing someone so close to you, but you might not interact with as much, knowing that we were there for them, I think meant a lot to them.
Played in each class at Danvers, Sam and Emily were proud to create something that was well appreciated by the Danvers community.
It really showed Danvers that we supported them, and it helped Masco students say what they were trying to say, to just do something to help the students of Danvers.
Yeah, and a lot of people were saying things like, oh, I know we're rivals in sports, but we really care about what happened at your school, so it really brought them together, even though they may have had their differences in the past. It was really nice.
Although this traumatic event happened on October 22, 2013, this day will have a long-lasting effect on the North Shore community.